The Artist's Revenge. Part 1, The Shattered Dream. The Return. The crystal chandeliers sparkled like frozen tears above the crowded auction house. Maya Chen stood near the back of the room, her fingers wrapped around a glass of champagne she had no intention of drinking. She wore a black dress that hugged her frame perfectly, her dark hair pulled back in an elegant twist. 5 years had transformed her from a naive girl into a woman who commanded attention without asking for it. The auctioneer's voice echoed through the hall. Next item, lot number 47. A stunning piece by emerging artist Derek Martinez. Maya studied the painting on display. The brushstrokes were confident, the colors bold. She knew this artist. She had discovered him 2 years ago when he was painting murals on street corners. Now his work sold for thousands. That was what she did. She found broken, brilliant artists and gave them wings. Starting bid at $20,000. Maya raised her paddle. Around her, wealthy collectors turned to see who dared bid so quickly. She ignored their stares. She had learned to wear confidence like armor. 25,000, a voice called from the front. Maya didn't hesitate. 30,000. The bidding continued, but Maya remained calm. She knew the painting's worth. She knew what it would become. At $45,000, the other bidders dropped out. The auctioneer's gavel fell. Sold to paddle number 18. As Maya lowered her paddle, she felt eyes on her. Not the curious glances of strangers, but the burning stare of someone who knew her. Someone from her past. She didn't need to turn around to know who it was. She had prepared for this moment for 5 years. The memory that never fades. 5 years ago, Maya had been a different person. She had been 23, fresh out of art school, with paint permanently stained under her fingernails and dreams bigger than her small apartment. She had been in love with Lucas Harrington, the man who promised her forever. Lucas came from old money. His family owned half the commercial real estate in the city. But when he looked at Maya, she believed he saw more than just her father's famous art collection. She believed he saw her soul. "You're going to be the most beautiful bride," her best friend Sophia had said, helping Maya try on wedding dresses 6 months before the big day. Maya had twirled in front of the mirror, the white lace flowing around her like clouds. "I can't believe this is real. Lucas is everything I ever wanted." Sophia had smiled, but something flickered in her eyes. "Are you sure about this, Maya? The wedding is so rushed. You've only known him for 8 months. When you know, Maya had replied, glowing with certainty. But Sophia had been right to worry. There were signs Maya chose to ignore. The way Lucas always asked about her father's paintings. How he insisted on meeting her family, especially her cousin Vanessa. The way he checked his phone constantly during their dates. Maya's father had been a legendary artist who died when she was 18. He left behind a collection of paintings worth millions, stored in a climate-controlled vault. Maya never thought about the money. Those paintings were her father's soul made visible. They were memories of him sitting in his studio, brush in hand, lost in creation while she did her homework at his feet. Lucas had been fascinated by the collection from the first time she mentioned it. "Have you ever thought about selling them?" he asked during one of their early dinners. "Never," Maya said firmly. "They're not for sale. They're family." Lucas had dropped the subject, but she caught him researching her father's work late at night, making notes about auction prices and collector interest. The wedding was planned for June. A garden ceremony at Lucas's family estate. 300 guests. Flowers imported from Ecuador. A dress that cost more than Maya's car. "It's too much," Maya had protested when Lucas showed her the plans. "Nothing is too much for my future wife," he said, kissing her forehead. "You deserve the best." Maya's mother had died when she was young, so it was just her and her small family. Her aunt, uncle, and cousin Vanessa. Vanessa was 28, 5 years older than Maya, with sharp features and sharper ambitions. She worked in real estate, always networking, always climbing. "Congratulations on the engagement," Vanessa had said when Maya announced the news, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. The night everything shattered. The night before the wedding, Maya couldn't sleep. Excitement buzzed through her veins like electricity. Tomorrow she would marry the love of her life. Tomorrow her forever would begin. She decided to surprise Lucas. She would go to his penthouse with champagne and spend their last night as single people together, even if tradition said they should stay apart. She grabbed the spare key he had given her and drove across the city. His building was all glass and steel, reaching toward the sky like an arrow. The doorman knew her and waved her through with a smile. The elevator ride felt eternal. Maya clutched the champagne bottle, imagining Lucas's face when he saw her. The elevator doors opened directly into his penthouse. The lights were dim, but she heard voices coming from the bedroom. Laughter. A woman's voice mixed with Lucas's deeper tone. Maya's heart stopped. Her feet moved forward even as her brain screamed at her to run. She crept down the hallway, the champagne bottle suddenly heavy in her hands. The bedroom door was half open. Through it, Maya saw her entire world collapse. Lucas was in bed, but he wasn't alone. Tangled in the silk sheets with him was Vanessa, Maya's cousin. The woman who had helped her pick out wedding favors. The woman who had thrown her a bridal shower 3 weeks ago. Maya couldn't breathe. She couldn't move. She stood frozen in the doorway like a statue, watching as her fiancé kissed her cousin. Then they started talking, and somehow that was worse than the betrayal she was already witnessing. "Tomorrow she becomes your wife," Vanessa said, trailing her finger down Lucas's chest. "And then what?" "Then we get access to the art collection," Lucas replied. His voice was cold, businesslike. Nothing like the warm tone he used with Maya. "She'll sign the papers giving me joint control of her father's estate. It's standard marriage stuff. She won't think twice about it." "And me?" Vanessa's voice turned sharp. "You, my darling, get your commission for setting this whole thing up. 20% of whatever we make when we sell the paintings. That's over $4 million. Maya's legs trembled. The champagne bottle slipped from her fingers, but she caught it before it crashed to the floor. Vanessa laughed. "I can't believe she never suspected anything. She actually thinks you love her." "She's naive," Lucas said dismissively. "Too trusting. It made everything easy. All I had to do was pretend to care about her art school stories and her stupid dreams of opening a gallery someday." "What happens after you sell the paintings?" Vanessa asked. "I'll stay married to her for a while. Keep up appearances. Then I'll divorce her quietly. She won't fight it. She's too soft. Too scared of conflict." He paused. "Besides, by then she'll be broken. She'll probably just disappear. And we can be together openly," Vanessa purred. "Exactly. I get the money, you get your cut, and we both get what we want." Lucas kissed Vanessa again. Maya was just a means to an end. A very profitable end. Maya backed away from the door. Her chest felt like it was caving in. She couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. The walls of the penthouse seemed to close in on her. She moved on autopilot, back to the elevator, through the lobby, into her car. She drove without knowing where she was going. Tears blurred her vision, but she didn't care. Everything had been a lie. Every kiss. Every promise. Every moment she thought they were building a future together. Lucas had never loved her. He had used her. And Vanessa, her own blood, had helped him. Maya found herself at her apartment at 3 a.m. She sat on the floor of her studio, surrounded by half-finished paintings and the smell of turpentine. The wedding was in 15 hours. 300 people were expecting her to walk down the aisle in a dress that cost $12,000. She couldn't do it. She couldn't stand in front of everyone and marry a man who saw her as nothing more than a key to a vault. The escape plan. Maya didn't sleep. As the sun rose over the city, she made her decision. She wouldn't confront Lucas. She wouldn't show up at the wedding. She would simply disappear. She packed one suitcase. Clothes, her laptop, her father's journal, and one small painting he had made of her as a child. Everything else could stay. The apartment, the furniture, the wedding dress hanging in her closet. Let them have it all. She called Sophia at 6 a.m. Maya? It's so early. Are you okay? Are you excited? Sophia's voice was full of sleep and concern. I need you to trust me, Maya said, her voice surprisingly steady. I'm leaving. I'm not getting married. What? Maya, what happened? I can't explain now. But I need you to do something for me. I need you to go to the wedding venue at 8 o'clock, before anyone else arrives, and tell the coordinator to cancel everything. Maya, you're scaring me. I'm okay. I promise. But I can't marry Lucas. And I can't face everyone right now. Will you do this for me? There was a long pause. Then Sophia said, Where are you going? Away. I'll call you when I'm safe. Does this have something to do with Lucas and Vanessa? Maya's breath caught. You knew? I suspected. I saw them together at a restaurant 2 months ago. They said it was business, but the way they looked at each other. Sophia's voice cracked. I should have told you. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault, Maya whispered. I wouldn't have believed you anyway. Where will you go? I don't know yet. Somewhere far from here. Somewhere I can start over. Promise me you'll be okay. I promise. Maya hung up and looked around her apartment one last time. This place held so many memories. Her father teaching her to mix colors. Late nights painting until her hands cramped. Dreams of becoming an artist like him. But those dreams belonged to a different Maya. The girl who existed before last night was gone. Someone new had taken her place. Someone harder. Someone who would never trust so easily again. She left her phone on the counter. Left her keys on the table. Walked out the door without looking back. By noon, when Maya was supposed to be walking down the aisle, she was on a bus headed west. She watched the city disappear behind her through the dirty bus window. Somewhere in that city, Lucas was probably panicking. Vanessa was probably furious. 300 guests were probably confused. Maya didn't care. Let them wonder. Let them worry. She was done being their pawn. She had $30,000 in her savings account. Her talent. And a burning determination to prove that she was more than just a key to a vault full of paintings. The bus rolled down the highway toward a new city. A new life. And Maya Chen, broken but not destroyed, began to plan her comeback. 5 years of transformation. Those 5 years had been the hardest and best of Maya's life. She arrived in a new city with nothing but a suitcase and a broken heart. She rented a tiny room in a house with 5 other people. She took a job waiting tables during the day and painted at night. But Maya had inherited her father's talent. More than that, she had inherited his eye for recognizing genius in others. She started visiting local galleries, street art festivals, and college exhibitions. She found artists who were brilliant but unknown. She promoted them on a blog she started. She connected them with buyers. She took a small commission. Within a year, she had saved enough to rent a small gallery space. Within 2 years, her gallery was the talk of the art world. Within 5 years, Maya Chen was a name that mattered. She had discovered 15 artists who went on to major success. She had an eye that collectors trusted and artists respected. She never went back to her old city. Never checked on Lucas or Vanessa. Never tried to reclaim her father's paintings from the vault. She told herself she didn't care. But that wasn't entirely true. Every success felt like revenge. Every time someone praised her taste or bought a painting from her gallery, she imagined Lucas hearing about it. Imagined him realizing what he had thrown away. Sophia had stayed in touch. She moved to Maya's new city after 2 years and became her gallery manager. She never mentioned Lucas or Vanessa unless Maya asked, which was almost never. "You've built something incredible," Sophia had said a month ago. "Your father would be so proud." "I did it for me," Maya replied. "Not for him. Not for anyone else. Just for me." But now, standing in this auction house in the city she had fled, Maya wasn't so sure. Maybe she had always known this moment would come. The moment when she would have to face her past. The auction continued around her, but Maya was lost in memory. Lost in the pain that time had dulled but never fully erased. Then a hand touched her elbow, and a voice said, "Ms. Chen? I've been hoping to meet you." Maya turned and found herself looking into the kindest eyes she had seen in 5 years. Part 2, The Comeback Queen. The man with kind eyes. He was tall, with dark hair that fell slightly over his forehead and eyes the color of warm honey. He wore a simple black suit, well-tailored but not flashy. Everything about him seemed genuine, from his slight smile to the way he held himself with quiet confidence. "I'm Adrian Cole," he said, extending his hand. "I'm a huge admirer of your gallery." Maya shook his hand, feeling an unexpected warmth at his touch. "Thank you. Are you a collector?" "Architect, actually. But I collect art for my buildings. I try to feature local and emerging artists in every space I design." His smile widened. "Your eye for talent is legendary. I've been following your career for 2 years." Before Maya could respond, she felt another presence approaching. Her entire body tensed. She knew who it was before she turned around. Maya. Lucas Harrington stood 3 feet away, and time had not been kind to him. He looked older than his 33 years. His expensive suit couldn't hide the tension in his shoulders or the shadows under his eyes. Next to him stood Vanessa, still beautiful but with a hardness around her mouth that hadn't been there before. "Lucas." Maya's voice was ice. "Vanessa." Adrian looked between them, reading the tension immediately, but he didn't step away. Instead, he moved slightly closer to Maya, a silent show of support. "I can't believe it's really you," Lucas said. His voice held something Maya couldn't quite identify. Regret? Desperation? "You look incredible." "Thank you." Maya kept her face neutral. Inside, her heart raced, but she refused to let them see any weakness. Vanessa's eyes were sharp, calculating. "We heard you were doing well, but we had no idea you'd become so successful. Your gallery is apparently the talk of the art world." "Apparently," Maya echoed coldly. "We've been trying to find you for years," Lucas continued. "You just disappeared. No one knew where you went." That was the point. An uncomfortable silence fell. The auction continued in the background, but their small group existed in a bubble of tension. Adrian cleared his throat. "Ms. Chen, we were discussing the commission over drinks. Shall we continue that conversation?" Maya had never been so grateful for a stranger's perception. "Yes, let's." She turned to leave without saying goodbye to Lucas or Vanessa. But Lucas reached out, almost touching her arm. "Maya, please. Can we talk? Just 5 minutes." Maya looked at his hand, then at his face. "We have nothing to talk about. Please. I owe you an explanation. An apology. You owe me nothing. Because you mean nothing to me." The words came out sharper than she intended, and she saw them land like physical blows. Vanessa's face flushed with anger. "After everything, you're still bitter? It's been 5 years, Maya. Grow up." Maya laughed, a sound without humor. "You're right, Vanessa. It has been 5 years. 5 years where I built something real. Something that matters. What have you built? Besides lies and schemes? Before Vanessa could respond, Maya walked away, Adrian following close behind. Dinner and truth. They ended up at a quiet restaurant far from the auction house. Adrian had suggested it, reading Maya's need to escape accurately. The place was small, intimate, with candles on every table and soft jazz playing in the background. Thank you, Maya said once they were seated. For the rescue back there. Adrian smiled. I could tell you needed an exit. Old boyfriend? Ex-fiancé. Maya surprised herself by answering honestly. Very ex. Want to talk about it? Not particularly. Maya looked at the menu, but the words blurred together. Her hands were still shaking slightly. Adrian was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I was married once. She died 3 years ago. Cancer. Maya looked up, shocked by his honesty. I'm so sorry. Thank you. His eyes held old pain, but also acceptance. Her name was Rebecca. She was a photographer. We had 5 good years together before she got sick. He paused. I'm telling you this because I understand complicated feelings about the past. And because I want you to know I'm not just making small talk. I genuinely would like to get to know you. Something in Maya's chest loosened. Why? Because you create beauty from nothing. You see potential where others see only struggle. That's a rare gift. Adrian leaned forward. And because when I watch you look at art, you see it the way Rebecca used to see the world through her camera lens. Like it matters. Like it's worth fighting for. Maya felt tears threaten for the first time in years. She blinked them away. You don't know me. Then let me. They talked for 3 hours. Adrian told her about his architecture firm, about designing buildings that felt alive, that integrated with nature instead of dominating it. Maya found herself talking about her father, about learning to paint at his feet, about the year after he died when color seemed to drain from the world. She didn't tell him about Lucas. Not yet. But she felt something shift inside her. A door she had welded shut beginning to crack open. I have a project, Adrian said as dessert arrived. A new building downtown. Corporate offices, but I want it to feel human. I need someone to curate the art collection. Someone who understands that art isn't just decoration. It's oxygen. I'm listening, Maya said. Work with me. Help me fill this building with pieces that make people stop and breathe and remember why they're alive. Maya studied his face. He meant every word. Why me? There are hundreds of curators in this city. Because you're the best. And because I think you might need a reason to stay in this city instead of running away again. The words hit harder than he probably intended. Maya set down her fork. Who told you I ran away? No one. Adrian's voice was gentle. But I recognize the look. I almost ran after Rebecca died. Almost sold everything and moved to somewhere no one knew me. The only thing that stopped me was knowing she would have been disappointed. She always said running just means you carry the same pain to a new location. Maya felt exposed, seen in a way that was both terrifying and comforting. What if I'm not ready to stop running? Then I'll wait. The proposition. 3 days later, Maya received a call from an unexpected number. She almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Maya? It's Lucas. She should have hung up. Instead, she said, how did you get this number? I have my ways. Please, don't hang up. I need to talk to you. It's important. I told you we have nothing to discuss. It's about your father's paintings. Maya's breath caught. What about them? Can we meet? Just coffee. Somewhere public. Please. Against her better judgment, Maya agreed. She told herself it was about the paintings, about her father's legacy. But part of her wanted to see Lucas again, to prove to herself that she felt nothing. They met at a busy coffee shop the next morning. Lucas looked worse than he had at the auction. His suit was wrinkled, and he had the look of a man who hadn't slept in days. "Thank you for coming," he said as Maya sat down across from him. "You have 10 minutes. Lucas took a deep breath. "My company is bankrupt. The real estate market crashed, and I made some bad investments. I'm losing everything. And this concerns me how? Your father's paintings. They're still in the vault. You're the only one who can access them. I need you to sell them." Maya stared at him in disbelief. "You're joking." "I'm desperate. If I can sell even a few of those paintings, I can save my company. I can pay off my debts. Let me understand this." Maya's voice was dangerously quiet. "You tried to trick me into marrying you so you could steal my father's art collection. When I disappeared, you lost access to that money. Now you're broke, and you have the audacity to ask me to give you what you tried to steal? I know how it sounds. Do you?" Maya leaned forward. "Do you have any idea what you did to me? You didn't just break my heart, Lucas. You made me question everything. My judgment. My worth. My ability to trust anyone. I'm sorry. I truly am. I was young and stupid and greedy. I've regretted it every day for 5 years. You regret getting caught. You regret losing access to millions of dollars. You don't regret hurting me." Lucas's face crumbled. "That's not true. Vanessa and it's not what you think. It was never real. It was just about the money. That makes it worse, not better. Please, Maya. I'm begging you. I'll pay you back. I'll give you anything you want." Maya stood up. "You can't give me what I want because what I want is the 5 years you stole from me. The trust you destroyed. The woman I used to be before I learned that people are capable of such casual cruelty." She picked up her bag. "The answer is no. You'll never touch my father's paintings. And you'll never touch me again." "Maya, wait." But she was already walking away, her head high, her heart pounding. As she pushed through the coffee shop door, she felt something unexpected. Not satisfaction. Not victory. Just emptiness. Revenge, she realized, was supposed to feel better than this. Adrian's project. Maya threw herself into work. She met with Adrian twice a week to discuss the building project. He showed her architectural drawings, explained his vision, listened to her ideas. "I want the entrance to have a piece that stops people in their tracks," Adrian said during one meeting. "Something that makes them forget they're going to work in a corporate office." "What about a living wall?" Maya suggested. "Plants integrated with sculptural elements. Art that breathes." Adrian's eyes lit up. "Yes. Exactly. Do you know an artist who could execute that?" "I know 3. Let me reach out to them." As they worked together, Maya found herself looking forward to their meetings. Adrian made her laugh. He asked her opinion and actually listened. He talked about Rebecca without flinching, which made Maya feel brave enough to talk about her father. "He used to say that art is frozen emotion," Maya said one evening as they walked through Adrian's construction site. "Every painting is a feeling that the artist couldn't express any other way." "What emotion are you frozen in?" Adrian asked quietly. Maya stopped walking. The sun was setting, painting the skeletal building in shades of orange and gold. "I used to be frozen in grief. For my father. For the life I thought I would have. But now." She looked at Adrian. "Now I think I'm starting to thaw." He reached out and gently tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "Good. Because frozen things are beautiful, but they can't grow." Maya felt something shift in her chest. Something warm and terrifying and wonderful all at once. That night, she called Sophia. I think I'm falling for him, Maya admitted. The architect? Sophia sounded delighted. Finally. I've been waiting for you to realize it. It's too soon. I'm not ready. What if he's kind and honest and treats you the way you deserve to be treated? Sophia interrupted. Maya, not everyone is Lucas. Adrian is different. How do you know? Because I've seen the way he looks at you. Like you're the art he's been searching for his whole life. Maya laughed, but her eyes filled with tears. I'm scared. I know. But maybe being scared means it matters. Maybe it's worth the risk. The next day, Vanessa appeared at Maya's gallery. We need to talk, Vanessa said without preamble. Maya was tempted to have her thrown out, but curiosity won. You have 5 minutes. Vanessa looked around the gallery, taking in the carefully curated pieces, the elegant space Maya had created. You've done well for yourself. Yes, I have. No thanks to you. Vanessa flinched. I came to apologize. I don't want your apology. Lucas is broke. Did he tell you? We're losing the house. The cars. Everything. Vanessa's composure cracked slightly. We got married 6 months after you left. It was a disaster from the start. You're telling me this why? Because I need you to know the truth. I never loved Lucas. He never loved me. We were both just greedy and stupid, and we destroyed something real to chase money we never even got. Maya crossed her arms. And now you want forgiveness? Absolution? I want you to know I'm sorry. Truly sorry. You were family, and I betrayed you in the worst possible way. Yes, you did. Vanessa looked down at her hands. We went to the vault 3 months after you disappeared. Your father's paintings. We thought maybe we could find a way to access them. But you had legally transferred everything to a trust before you left. We couldn't touch any of it. Maya smiled coldly. That was the one smart thing I did that week. My father's lawyer helped me. The paintings are protected in a trust that only I can access, and only when I choose to. Lucas is desperate. He thinks if he can convince you to sell even one painting, he can save his company. He asked me already. I said no. Vanessa nodded slowly. He'll keep trying. He's obsessed. He sees those paintings as his last hope. They were never his. They never will be. Maya walked toward the gallery door, opening it. Your 5 minutes are up. As Vanessa left, she turned back. For what it's worth, I really am sorry. I see now what I destroyed. You were innocent and kind, and we crushed that. You're right, Maya said quietly. You did crush it. But I built something better from the pieces.